Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Guys, smash the like button on this video. Really hit the like button. Guys, let's get this video to 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 likes. I'd really appreciate if it can get to that number. So yeah, really double down and smash the like button on this video. Also, go smash the like button on my last video that I did with Punch Perfect Boxing. Jamie, who's a great lad, a great channel. Go check him out. Really good interview, back and forth, just a general boxing chat we had together, and I really enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll do some more in the future, but yeah, let's get into this video. As I said, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video as always, guys, and let's get into this video. Tyson Fury, Mr. Tyson Fury, a lot of people call him Mr. Contradiction Fury, has demanded 500 million, I don't know whether it's pounds, dollars, whatever it is, this ridiculous amount of money to fight Oleksandr Uysk, or the winner of Joshua Usyk. But he's talking about Usyk. He says he'd want about 500 milli, you know, to fight Oleksandr Usyk. You know, a lot of people are not happy. They feel like Tyson Fury's messing around. If Tyson Fury's retired from the sport, then he should vacate that WBC belt. Why the WBC letting him hold that belt? I don't know with Tyson, because is he genuinely retired? Is he just basically trying to play hard to get so he can get more money? I don't know exactly what's going off in Tyson Fury's head, because he keeps saying that I'm retired and I'll only come back for half a bill. Like, he says it's not about the money. If it's not about the money, then why are you asking for $500 million? You know what I mean? He said that I'm a fighting man. It's not about the money for me. But if it's not about the money, then why are you asking for $500 million? It doesn't make sense. It's almost as if Tyson Fury... Look, if I'm going to say what I feel, what I genuinely believe, and I've believed all along, I think if AJ beats Usyk, he'll come out and fight Joshua. I think that fight is more appealing to him. I think the Usyk fight is a lot more tricky for him, and I think he looks at it, and I know he's saying that Usyk is a blown-up middleweight. Trust me, Tyson Fury doesn't think that Oleksandr Uysk is a blown-up middleweight. Tyson Fury thinks that Oleksandr Uysk is a boxer tricks and a great fighter. Tyson Fury is a very intelligent guy. He understands boxing better than most, and he knows that. I know he won't openly admit it, because Tyson Fury is somebody that, and generally a lot of fighters are like this, they like to downplay their threats, their competition. You know, try to make out, oh yeah, he's nothing, he's a blown-up middleweight, he's a dosser, he's nothing. Deep down, Tyson Fury knows how good Oleksandr Usyk is. You know, this is a guy, what, in 19 fights, that is a unified, undisputed cruiserweight champion and unified heavyweight champion in 19 fights. That's incredible. So Fury knows deep down how good Usyk is, and I just don't think he fancies that fight. I think he feels that... Here's the problem with us boxing fans. We've already crowned him the best of this era. We've already said that he's the best fighter of this era. So he's got a lot to lose now, because a lot of people have already crowned him the best of this era. So he feels, why do I need to fight Oleksandr Usyk? You know, because the chances are Oleksandr Usyk is going to beat Anthony Joshua. I think we all kind of see it the same. I think we all expect Oleksandr Usyk to do a number on AJ. I would love to see AJ win so we can get a massive unification fight with Tyson Fury and Joshua, two Brits. But if I'm being honest, I'd only see one winner in that fight, and that's Mr. Oleksandr Usyk. If I'm totally honest with you, I think Usyk is going to be very difficult to beat. And then we want to obviously see the undisputed fight with Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. But Fury at the minute is playing very difficult, very hard, playing very difficult. Basically saying he wants 500 million. You know, 500 million. No, who's earning that kind of money? You know, $500 million for a boxing match. Come on, that's ludicrous. I know, you know, people negotiate high, but it just seems like Tyson Fury wants ridiculous amount of money. And let's be honest, his highest payday is probably $30 to $50 million, right? He wants almost 10 times that, you know, to fight Oleksandr Usyk. And even if it was an AJ fight, which obviously would generate much more interest, which would obviously do much bigger business, would generate nowhere near where he'd get paid 500 million. I think at most probably 100 million each, and that's at most. That's what I think they're gonna get if Joshua and Fury fight, maybe 100 mil each. Asking for 500 million, obviously he's not serious. He's not serious about wanting to fight Usyk. And personally, I don't think he fancies the fight with Usyk. I think he looks at it and thinks that it's a tricky fight. Why do I need it? I've got a lot more to lose than to gain. And he's probably thinking, if the money is ridiculous, if I get paid a stupid amount of money, I'll take the fight with Usyk. Otherwise, there's no need for me to fight Usyk. What have I got to gain? It's just a tricky fight, horrible fight. I might as well retire undefeated, retire with people saying I'm the best of this era. And that's the problem with us boxing fans. Because we've already crowned Tyson Fury the best of this era, Tyson Fury doesn't really need to feel to fight Usyk. I know there are going to be people, if he doesn't fight Usyk, it will hurt his legacy. I do think you can't be considered an all-time great or be considered like a Lewis or like a Ali if you don't fight the key fighters of your era. And what I mean by that is Oleksandr Uysk, the winner. Like, I don't think he needs to fight Joshua and Usyk. I think he needs to fight the winner of that fight. If he doesn't fight the winner of that fight, his legacy is incomplete. And it'll definitely hurt his legacy. As simple as that. Like, I like Tyson Fury. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's pretty inspirational what he's come back from. I think his win against Vladimir Klitschko was phenomenal because sometimes... I know Klitschko was old and 39, but Klitschko was undefeated for 10 years. And he went to the guy's backyard and beat him convincingly. And he had everything against him. It was a bit like Devin Haney going to fight Kambosos. The only difference is Kambosos was no super champion. You know, Klitschko was a super champion, a great fighter, a guy that was undefeated for 10 years. And Fury defeated him. He was the first guy. Then obviously Joshua defeated him as well. But that was an incredible win because I remember at the time nobody was giving Fury a prayer. Nobody was giving Fury a prayer, and Fury went over there and did the unthinkable, really, because nobody thought Fury's going to beat Vladimir Klitschko. I remember at the time, I remember speaking to Tony McKenzie, the former British champion, and he was saying, nah, Klitschko will beat him. He goes, I remember him saying, I fought a guy that I knew or a friend of mine, and Klitschko battered him. And there's no way Tyson, and everyone saw it the same way, that, you know, Fury will get beaten by Vladimir Klitschko. But, you know, Fury shocked the world. And then, you know, Fury went into depression after that. And then he fought, came back, had some, you know, almost exhibition type fights with Pianetta and what's his name? Who was it that he fought? Sefery. He beat them, and then obviously they made the Wilder fight, and he came back, and he did the unthinkable. He got a draw. People thought Wilder would flatten him. Wilder almost did flatten him, and in the 12th round, he got up like Undertaker and basically got through the fight. And rest is history. You know, they had the second fight. He absolutely obliterated Deontay Wilder, and the third fight was one of the greatest fights we've seen. And Tyson Fury's stock went through the roof. And then obviously just sort of late he beat Dillian Whyte. But let's put it into context. Tyson Fury's had 5 world title fights. And this isn't a guy with a deep resume. This isn't a guy that's got a great resume by any stretch of the imagination. You know, when you compare his resume to some of the all-time greats, his resume is pretty thin. And he's only had 5 world title fights, bearing in mind, you know, in this era, in Ali had 25 world title fights, and he fought in an era where there was only 1 champion. Tyson Fury's fighting in an era where there's 4 champions. I know in the heavyweight division there's only been 2 of recent years, but nevertheless, you know, he's defended his world title against Dillian Whyte. Now we want to see him fight some other top names, and I think he's retired prematurely, personally. Like, I think he's still got so much to give. I think he's in his physical prime, you know, and I think Tyson Fury beats everybody. The only fight that I think I'm not convinced about is the Usyk fight. I'm not convinced about that one because I think Usyk is that good that I need to see that fight. And if Tyson Fury beats Oleksandr Uysk, I'll happily say he's the best fighter of this era. Without question, I'm more than happy to say he's the best fighter, and he's one of the great heavyweights, not just of this era, but one of the great heavyweights, you know, we've seen. Because at the end of the day, for him to beat the guys that he beat, and like to beat Vladimir Klitschko, go to his backyard and beat him is phenomenal. Then to beat Wilder when nobody gave him a prayer. He beat Wilder and beat him emphatically, had 3 fights with him and 3 great fights. Then he fought Dillian Whyte. That's a good top 10 win. And then if he beats Usyk and becomes undisputed, wow, you know, you're looking at one of the greats of heavyweight boxing. But Fury at the minute is asking for silly money, 500 million, which he's not going to get. And it just seems to me like he doesn't want to fight Oleksandr Uysk, which that's up to him. At the end of the day, if he feels content with his career, look, he's had a great career, won every single belt like he says. But at the end of the day, there will be something incomplete, and there will be fans that would be letting him know that you bottled a fight with Usyk. Or the people, I'm not saying he's ducking Usyk. I'm just saying there will be fans that will look at him and his legacy will be hurt. And I just don't feel Tyson Fury will leave. Even though I don't feel he fancies the fight with Usyk, I think there will be so much pressure and public demand that I think Fury will have to fight him. Not have to, but I think Fury will almost be... Is shame the right way? Shame to fight him? No, not really. I just feel his self-consciousness won't let him sleep at night if he doesn't fight Oleksandr Usyk. I know he says that I don't care, my legacy's complete, I don't need Usyk. But I think deep down he knows that the winner of that fight, if he beats the winner of that fight, his legacy is on another level. If he beats Oleksandr Usyk, I'd have to happily say that Tyson Fury is among Lennox Lewis, among Ali, among those guys, as one of the greats, without question. I know a lot of people say, well, Tyson Fury will beat Oleksandr Usyk. He'll beat Oleksandr Usyk. It's one thing saying it. It's another thing going and do it. You can't... Ali didn't just say, I'll beat Foreman. He went and did it when no one gave him a chance. People will probably think Tyson Fury is the favorite. Look, Ali was a massive underdog against Foreman. No one gave him a prayer. And he went and did it. And you could say Tyson Fury did that against Klitschko, did that against Wilder. But his resume is pretty thin at the top level. You know, he's got Wilder and Klitschko and then Dillian Whyte. You know, that's not a very strong resume. It's not a very strong resume. But if he adds Usyk to that and then he fights Joshua, he doesn't need to fight both of those guys. But if he fights the winner of that fight, and then I'm pretty sure he'd want to fight Joshua. Imagine if he fights Usyk, beats Usyk. There'll be huge demand for that Joshua fight. Even though Joshua would have taken a couple of L's, there would be still huge demand for it. So I don't know why Tyson Fury... For me, I think he's playing a game to get more money. That's what I think. I also think that he's not that interested in the Usyk fight. For whatever reason, it might just be down that he can't get up for it. Or he doesn't feel that motivated for it. Or it could be the fact that he looks at his style and thinks, I don't want no part of him, to be honest. And it could be the fact that people have already crowned him king and crowned him the best of this era, and he thinks he doesn't need to put his legacy on the line. It could, look, it's a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I think his legacy will be incomplete if he doesn't fight Oleksandr Usyk. In my opinion, I feel like he will leave an incomplete legacy. And I think Fury is a special fighter. I think he should fight the winner of that fight. Look, even if he loses the fight, you know, at least he'll be giving the fans, the fight that they want to see. You know, but he's that confident and he thinks Oleksandr Usyk is that blown-up middleweight, then he should be able to beat him very easily, you know? So what would be the issue of fighting him? If Usyk is that a blown-up middleweight like he says, then surely it's an easy fight and it's going to be a massive payday anyway. Yeah, it's not going to be £500 million payday, but it's going to be a huge payday. It's going to be a 60, 70 million pound. He's going to be 60, 70 million richer, you know, why not? I don't see it why. He's fighting a small guy. It's not like Usyk can hurt him in there. It's not like he's fighting a Deontay Wilder where, you know, you could put your lights out. He's fighting Usyk, who's at most he'll outbox you. That's what, he'll outbox you and outclass you. That's it. He's not going to hurt you like that, you know, because Usyk's not a big puncher like that. So, yeah, man, I think Fury, I don't know why Fury wouldn't want to fight Usyk, you know. I really want Fury to fight Usyk. I think even though that could be a really boring fight, I just really want to see it, because I think it'll be a really good chess match. I think you've got two really good boxers. I think Usyk is the better boxer. I think Fury, I think Fury's size and his boxing ability might be too much. Who knows? But Usyk for me is all round the better boxer, in my opinion. But Fury, the size and the boxing skills that Fury's got might be too much for Usyk, because Fury is very good at using his size and weight and leaning on you and tiring you that way. You know, he's very good at that. So he might be able to wear Usyk down. You know, this is why and I don't think Joshua has that in his arsenal. I don't think he can wear guys down like that. So that's why it makes that fight very interesting, and why I want to see Fury v Usyk. What do you guys think? Fury demanding 500 million to fight Oleksandr Uysk. Is that crazy? Or is it a case where you don't feel that he needs to fight Usyk? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.